Before I begin unveiling the uncontroverted truth about the Antichrist, I want to ask these questions to every single religious group and non-believers as well out there. And to the non-believers, just because you don't believe in God or anything, it doesn't mean you're on the safe side at all. Here are my questions. If Jesus and all the other Jesus-like characters are the saviors of the world, then how come no one on the far ends of the uncivilized world has ever heard of these saviors except the civilized parts of the world? And why would such godly saviors need missionaries to spread the works of their miracles? And what kind of a God creates and wants to be worshipped and glorified by his own creation? That doesn't sound like a God at all. Also, why are the Jewish people the only chosen people of God? What about the rest of the people walking the surface of the earth? If all people are loved and are equal in God's eye, you should have really let that sunk in before you opened your mouth to preach about any religious faiths. Anyways, now that I've broken the walls built by religions, and now that we've started questioning the reality we've been fed, let's examine how the Antichrist is portrayed in various religious texts. In Christianity, the Antichrist is often viewed as a singular demonic entity, a false prophet who will rise in the end times to deceive humanity. He is often associated with the devil and is foretold to bring destruction and chaos. In Islam, the concept is somewhat different. The Islamic equivalent, al-Masih ad-Dajjal, is described as a deceitful figure who will falsely claim to be the Messiah. However, unlike the Christian Antichrist, the Dajjal is not necessarily associated with Satan himself, but is instead a significant trial that believers will face before the day of judgment. As for other religions, the concept of an Antichrist figure varies, and in some cases doesn't exist at all. For instance, in Buddhism, there is no direct equivalent to the Antichrist. Instead, there are various figures and entities that represent evil or ignorance, but none that play the same apocalyptic role. As we can see, the portrayal of the Antichrist varies greatly across different religions. It's not a universal concept, but rather a construct that reflects the unique beliefs and fears of each religious group. And like many religious symbols, its interpretation can be heavily influenced by cultural and historical contexts. This is just one of the many examples of how our perceptions can be shaped by the information we're exposed to. Is the Antichrist truly the embodiment of all things evil and deceptive as commonly perceived? What if everything you've been told about this figure is in fact a lie? Let's delve into this provocative topic and debunk some widespread misconceptions that have been well installed to keep the ordinary human mind in limbo. Now, let's take a step away from religious texts and societal norms and delve into the realm of popular culture. How exactly is the Antichrist depicted in the media that we consume on a daily basis? From the chilling portrait painted in movies like The Omen and Rosemary's Baby, to the more nuanced representation in TV shows such as Supernatural and American Horror Story, the Antichrist has been a recurring character that incites fear and curiosity in viewers. These fictional narratives often emphasize the evil and deceptive nature of the Antichrist, perpetuating the traditional image of this figure as the harbinger of the end times. In literature too, the Antichrist has been a focal point of several influential works. Books like Left Behind series and Good Omens have explored various aspects of the Antichrist, from his origin to his role in the apocalypse. These stories, while fictitious, have a significant impact on readers' understanding and perception of the Antichrist. Music, specifically in the genre of heavy metal and rock, frequently references the Antichrist. Bands like Iron Maiden, Slayer, and Black Sabbath have songs that depict the Antichrist as a powerful and ominous figure. These musical interpretations add another layer to the cultural image of the Antichrist. These depictions, while diverse, all contribute to the collective understanding of the Antichrist. They shape our perceptions, influence our fears and curiosities, and ultimately play a significant role in how we view this controversial figure. In the next scene, we will delve deeper into the true nature of the Antichrist beyond these popular portrayals. In Christianity, Islam, Zoroastrianism, Hinduism, Buddhism, Native American religions, many other religions and cultures all believe in the coming of the Antichrist, who is pure evil, full of deception. While that's the conditional belief of these hypocritical religions and other cultures in the world, before I get to why the Antichrist is feared all over the world, let's once again break down more walls built by not only religions but also scientists, politics, spiritual gurus, and societal norms. They all have one thing in common. They rule the world through money in exchange for your faith in them, or have faith in God through them. Do you see what's wrong with this picture? If you can't see it, let's talk about healing, the one thing everybody in the world needs the most. When does political governments ever offer healing, except to extend the chains of wars and violence to solve the mystery that is peace on earth? And when have religions ever had any real solid proof of healing, except reading of their beloved biblical scriptures? There is no real proof of deformity or limbs growing back or illnesses of any kind being cured after being prayed for by a pastor, a preacher, or televangelists. Religions never healed any diseases or deformity. If they did, they would have continued doing so, and the world would have been in peace by now. All they do is use historical references in the scriptures written to glorify and sell faith to people all over the civilized world. Here is the real hard-hitting truth. Religious faith is a hoax because the creator of the universe is an evil God. If you're still in doubt, the richest in the world today include religious leaders who are all corrupt. They are full of greed and homosexuality, something that is supposedly forbidden biblically, and now it's taken over the world. I wonder how. These religious institutes are filled with child molesters, sexual offenders to women and men. It's absolutely disgusting, and I will never forget or forgive them. That's the sickness that has been spreading and still is spreading in the world, trying to infect everyone. These homosexuals are trying to convince people that they got created and born with the wrong genders at birth. Okay, fair point to yourself. Now, how about you take that conversation and have it with the God that created you and made the mistake of giving you that gender you have an issue with all of the sudden. And stop breathing down our straight necks like it's our fault. No one straight has to accept your gender tragedy at all, ever. That is Hollywood's sickness and madness. Hollywood will surely embrace you, but no one straight has to at all. Stop trying to get our innocent children to learn about homosexuality through your music, movies, and books. No child is ever born a homosexual. There is no proof of that nonsense. That's not the biology of the human-animal birth. Just because you have surrendered to the signals of mind manipulation, it doesn't mean everyone should. You will not receive any empathy or sympathy anymore. You have played that musical note long enough. Keep that Hollywood sickness to yourself and stop infecting our children who needs the discipline of their biological parents, not your homosexual madness. Okay, now that it is all in the clear, back to the religious institutes. The poor that attend their churches are still poor. Ever asked yourself this? If preaching held any healing powers, why didn't these preachers visit hospitals to end all the sicknesses in the world? Guess who they blame if you're not healed after being prayed for by them? You get the blame because apparently you didn't believe or have enough faith. That's how low they have always been, and you still give them thanks and attend this sick and twisted institutes while you remain poor and they prosper. Religions are nothing but money-making schemes. And faith is the selling magnet. It's about time you set yourself free from this entrapment. Scientists are no different. They don't heal or eliminate diseases. They manufacture diseases and sell their useless antidotes to you. That's why the same diseases keep attacking you and new diseases keep popping up out of nowhere. Cancer is still killing people, but they can invent machines that can see light years away. How laughable. Scientists may appear intelligent to the ordinary asleep mind, but they're not that intelligent at all. They will never ever build a time machine or a telescope capable of seeing light years away. That's a hoax. This world is filled with businessmen and women who aren't afraid to scam every penny out of you and work you till your death. The world is filled with governments who create wars and then turn around to act like the heroes. The world is filled with celebrities who offer you absolutely nothing, but yet you go out of your way to worship and adore them like gods and goddesses. They sell you false hope and empty beauty standards and sex as means to gain fame and fortune, and you have fallen hard for it. You're running their rat race, you're the rat, and they are amused by your efforts. They have built their empires selling you false hope, faith, no real solution to problems, but empty promises. And that void within you just keeps growing bigger and bigger, full of frustrations, stresses, depressions, anxieties, and addictions. You're constantly left yearning for a life you will never have. Many prophecies have been made about the Antichrist. Some are derived from religious texts, while others are the insights of prophets and seers. Let's explore some of them. Various religious texts present prophecies about the Antichrist. In Christian literature, it's said that the Antichrist will perform great signs and wonders, leading many to be deceived. The Islamic tradition refers to a figure known as the Dajjal, who will spread corruption and misguidance before being defeated. In Hinduism, the Kalki avatar is expected to come at the end of the current age, Kali Yuga, to combat the forces of evil. Beyond religious texts, there have been numerous seers and prophets who've made predictions about the Antichrist. Nostradamus, one of the most famous prophets in history, is said to have predicted the arrival of the Antichrist in his quatrains. Edgar Cayce, the so-called sleeping prophet, also spoke of a time of great upheaval associated with the Antichrist. But how accurate are these prophecies? It's a matter of debate. Some people believe that these prophecies are metaphorical rather than literal, meant to symbolize the ongoing struggle between good and evil within each individual and society at large. Others take a more literal interpretation, believing that there will indeed be a figure who embodies the Antichrist as described in these prophecies. While these prophecies are intriguing, their accuracy and interpretation remain a contentious issue. What's clear, however, is that the figure of the Antichrist has a significant place in many cultures and religions, and will continue to be a topic of fascination and debate. You have developed a short attention span due to your focus being sucked away from the self by their constant production of propagandas through televisions, radios, magazines, newspapers, and social media platforms. You have no time to work on yourself, but to remain under guard from the precious societal standards they keep inventing. You have become very competitive and hateful towards your fellow humans instead of uniting and fighting against the system that has turned you into a monster. You have been made to believe that the system is worth more than you. What chance of freedom do you have? Might as well surrender to it, right? Through no fault of your own, you're a victim of a system built for the riches who created it for themselves, not for you. To be as rich as them, you have to become like them. And why would you want to become some sick and twisted monsters like them? For those who don't believe in anything, you haven't escaped anything. If you don't know what's within yourself and outside the universe, it doesn't matter what meditation practice you partake. If you're not meditating to liberate from the confines of matter, time, body, soul, thoughts, and emotions, and death, you're with a false spiritual guru. You're trapped just like everybody else, and you will keep suffering, struggling, and working all kinds of physical labors to feed the physical body until you die. That is the destiny of the ordinary human being written by the creator of the universe. Now that we are clear of the fallacies of politics, scientists, false spiritual gurus, and religious institutions, now you will get to see and understand why they all fear the Antichrist. I know a lot of people out there have taken it upon themselves to proclaim when the Antichrist is coming and what he's going to do and what he looks like. Here's the truth. Nobody knows the identity of the Antichrist and the date of when the Antichrist will come, but he is coming for sure. So, let's talk about just who the Antichrist is. Well, the Antichrist is not born of the universe. Note the word anti. The Antichrist comes from outside the universe, meaning he is uncreated. He is not part of the creator of the universe, hence the word anti. So where is the Antichrist now? Is he here on earth now? Yes, indeed he is. He was imprisoned here on earth for eons. And how was the Antichrist captured? That is a question only the Antichrist can answer upon his awakening. I know you have seen the videos on the Antichrist. All those people narrating claim to know the Antichrist by referencing biblical scriptures and other historic books. I can assure you none of those people know the real Antichrist. There are a lot of figures that will come to appear like the Antichrist to the ordinary in the world, but they are not the true Antichrist at all. He is very close from breaking free. And the forces of the universe and its creator knows it. They are very afraid, freaking out and panicking, increasing their armies in numbers and recruiting more people not to side with the Antichrist. When he wakes up from the world of matter and time, that is to say, the body and soul that binds him, the world will know it, and no one in the universe, including the creator of the universe, can stop him. All the armies of the Creator God won't match his immeasurable power. History calls his awakening the end of the world, and rightfully so. Here is why they all fear the true, real Antichrist. It is because the true Antichrist sides with no one in the created universe, and its creator, the true Antichrist, hates the creator of the universe. The true Antichrist opposes everything that the world has been subjected to believe. Everything the world has been acting out as normal. The Antichrist is the only one who will end the reign of political governments, religious institutions, scientific institutions, diseases, world hunger, preachers, pastors, televangelists, child traffickers, child molesters, sexual offenders, human sacrifices in meaningless wars for greed. Any suffering of any kind is what the Antichrist is going to end. So before you listen to those signals projected into your mind, known as thoughts and emotions by the creator of the universe and his minions on earth, sit down, take a deep breath, and for once in your miserable human life, think deeper for a moment. This world you have been brainwashed and seduced to admire and love is ruled by an evil God whose unbreakable law is eat to survive or die. Innocent children die every day. Good-hearted people die and suffer because of greedy monsters, murderers, sexual offenders, all created and allowed by this creator of the universe. Endless political wars, endless religious wars, endless economical wars. This world is literally ruled and governed by sick, evil, and twisted people, and they are the very same people that say the Antichrist is the villain. Can you see what's wrong with that picture? Some believe that the Antichrist will usher in a new world order, a radical shift from everything we've ever known. But what does this new world order really mean? Traditionally, it refers to the emergence of a totalitarian world government, a concept often associated with conspiracy theories. However, in the context of the Antichrist, this new world order symbolizes a drastic change in the existing power dynamics. The Antichrist, as we've established, opposes the creator of the universe and all the systems of this world. Hence, his arrival would mean the end of the current world order. It's not about creating a new government or seizing power. It's about dismantling the existing systems that have been causing suffering and chaos. The role of the Antichrist in this new world order is not of a ruler, but of a liberator. His wrath is not aimed at controlling humanity, but at freeing it from the clutches of the Creator and his minions. It's a transformation from a world of suffering to a world of liberation. The implications of this new world order are massive. It challenges our understanding of good and evil, right and wrong. It forces us to question our beliefs and values, to reassess our perception of the world and our place in it. The new world order may not be what we expect. It's not about domination or control, but about liberation and awakening. It's about the end of suffering and the beginning of a new era. But before we reach there, we need to challenge our perceptions, question our beliefs, and see the world for what it truly is. The Antichrist is not a politician, a scientist, or some technologist, or a religious leader, or a prophet, a demon, some jinn, or a titan, or a hairy beast that's been locked away in some mountain underneath the earth. Call him whatever you want. He is not coming to build an army. His power is not of the created universe. That means upon his awakening, no matter what army the creator God of the universe has, no one can stop him. My question to you is, can you see the true villains yet, or are you the villain for not seeing the true villain? Because here is the real truth, like it or not. No one who supports the systems of this world, no one who loves and adores this world and its creator, will ever survive the wrath of the true Antichrist. No hope or faith in your gods or being non-believers is going to save you from his wrath. The only way to survive is to renounce this world and wake up to discover your uncreated divine essence and liberate yourself or be disintegrated with the rest.